Let's go, let's go, let's go. Shut up! Hey, Alpha, shut up! What are you? What is it? Shut up! What are you? Shut up! Ready, shut up! 180! Ready, shut! You are X, you are X. Shut up! Ready, shut! Shut up! 180! Ready, shut up! Ready, shut up! DC, right? 180! Ready, shut! Shut up! 180! 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 Ready, shut up! Ready, shut up! Hey, middle! 13! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! 180! Ready, shut up! Go! Shut up! Alpha, shut up! 180! Ready, shut up! 180! Ready, shut up! One more, ready? Shut up! 180! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! 180! Ready, shut up! Shut up! 180! Ready, shut up! Shut up! One more, ready? Ready, shut up! Shut up! Shut up! 180! Ready, shut up! Ready, shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! No! 180! Ready, shut up! Out! Shut up! Steven. All right. Sit on! What? Sit up! Sit on!
It's week 6 in the NFL as Baltimore welcomes the reigning Offensive Rookie of the Year for the first time. Can Justin Herbert lead the Chargers past the Ravens? Find out next on EA Sports.
Autumn has arrived in the Mid-Atlantic region of the U.S., and it is a glorious afternoon at M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore. The two teams emerging from their respective tunnels a minute ago to the approval of this Baltimore crowd. They're all set as their Ravens will match up with the Los Angeles Chargers. Brandon Gaunt alongside Charles Davis. CD, you look at the Ravens in this matchup. They're squaring off against a very tough unit to throw against.
And this is not one of the better passing offenses in the league to begin with, Brandon. And to illustrate that point, they're down near the bottom of the power ranking, so the focus is going to need to be on possession-type throws. Whether they're trying to use their running backs or tight ends a little bit more, the big thing is to make sure the quarterback gets it out of his hands quickly to his receivers, and they hope to gain an advantage that way.
The Ravens offense set to go now as they'll have it on this opening drive of the contest.
Mike, 49. Switch up. 49 the Mike, 49 the Mike. Come on.
First carry now for Gus Edwards. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35.
Let's go.
How best to describe that one? I'd say right down Broadway on that run.
A straight ahead running. I think that might be something we see a lot of between the tackles today.
Well, he's enjoying things so far here this afternoon. Sees a crease and bursts through it for a solid gain.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. They go play action now. Jackson. Looking right side, and that's complete to Watkins. A gain of 6 there on first.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
A look at the numbers last week for Edwards. 24 carries, 63 yards, and a touchdown.
He's been a huge part of their winning streak because he establishes not just an identity and a tone, but the team relies on him. He takes care of the football, he gains yardage for him, chews up clock, and that's been a big part of why they're winning games lately.
Jackson's throw taken in by Watkins here. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards. On second down, it's Edwards. And some good tackling there as he stopped up at about the 41. And Charles, despite this list of key inactives that we see here, they've obviously still been pretty successful.
Give everyone credit for this one, because to me, when that happens, key guys are out, the next man steps up and plays well, but that starts with the organization itself, all the way through. No excuses for guys being out, finding guys who are capable backups who can step up and play when they need them, and we've seen the results of that. This team knows how to work through things. You absolutely have to have this early on, right? 3rd and short, they elect to throw for it, and that's normal NFL football. They're going to throw on 3rd and short, but you've got to hit it, don't you?
Yeah, in the first quarter, like you said, to set the tone, can't connect there. And I tell you what, he got it from 58. That had lots of leg behind it. They were probably hoping to get him a little bit closer for a shorter field goal, but he was able. Tucker now following the made field goal, set to kick it away. No return here for QT, so this will come out to the 25. The Charger offense running for their first possession, and it's Justin Herbert at the helm in his 2nd season now out of Oregon.
And no excitement unless you're on the defensive team of last week in his numbers, because the only excitement he really generated was the 1 interception he threw.
Yeah, no touchdown passes.
Yeah, and his team wasn't real thrilled about that. And they lost the game. So I know this week has been tough on him because he's been working hard. Fundamentals, footwork, finding the right targets. And bottom line, how do they get a win?
Looking for more there on 1st down, but this throw downfield incomplete.
That's what you're going to need to do against those big receivers. You got to get in there and get physical with them. That time he got in close, got in tight, and knocked the ball away.
Powers through and past the 40 before he's out of bounds.
A gain of 16 yards. Let's go.
Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
They'll run here with Eckler. And he'll get this up past the 45 to the 47. He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4. Herbert will give this one to Eckler. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 3rd and 3. Well, this defense for the Ravens, they were excellent a week ago in that victory over Indianapolis.
And they needed to be, because the game was a game we don't see very often anymore. Low scoring, slugging it out in the trenches. One play can make the difference type of a game.
Touchdown, LA!
There it is. That's what I'm talking about.
Keenan Allen, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Chargers have taken the lead. So on 3rd and medium, they dial up the pass, and it works to hit the end zone.
And it's really not a surprise to me. That's a throwing down in the NFL because of how tough it is to run the football. But what offenses like to do is still show run formations to make them respect it and throw out of those. In this case, they took a nice shot at the end zone and made it pay off.
Hopkins with the extra point, and that makes it a 7-3 lead. That time, 75-yard drive, 5 plays. And it ends with the Chargers getting into the end zone. Following the touchdown, Dustin Hopkins will kick it away. Devin Duvernay now returning from the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. Baltimore set to take over here for their 2nd possession of the game. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted, and we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. And this will go as a gain of 7 as he gets it to the 30-yard line. Working with a 2nd and 3. They go play action with Jackson. He'll buy some time right. Catch is made by Marquise Brown. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down.
Marquise Brown is definitely going to take the top off of the defense and make the big catches downfield. Also known as Hollywood, now in his 3rd season from Oklahoma, wants to make more catches like the one we just saw there, the routine variety.
Meanwhile, Jackson's throw into the hands of Boyle here. And that'll be good for 8 yards to the 45. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop you, keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn it into a bigger game. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
Second quarter now from Baltimore. It's the Ravens in possession as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Jackson now off the bootleg. Escaping the pressure right. He'll hit Watkins on a crossing route. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10.
And Sammy Watkins is in his 8th NFL season. Spent the last 3 in Kansas City and won a Super Bowl there. Really excited about the opportunity to bond with quarterback Lamar Jackson. Makes a nice catch there.
Edwards now on 1st and 10. And they're going to lose some on this play. Being knocked back to the 18. Give Uchenna Nwosu the credit for the stuff.
With his size, he's a tough man to bring down, but they do a nice job there stopping his progress and not allowing him to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Still 15 yards to go, 2nd down.
I got you, punk.
From the gun, it's Jackson. Eluding the pressure right. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Lamar Jackson, touchdown number 12 on the year. And the Ravens have retaken the lead. Well, that was all Lamar Jackson all the time on that drive, both through the air and in the end with a touchdown run.
Yeah, how about him doing things a little bit on the reverse side there, Brandon, because he softened him up throwing the football and opened up the running lanes. And when he gets a little bit of a sliver, he's gone. And that's exactly what he did there.
Justin Tucker for the extra point. And it's through, and that makes the lead 10-7. So that drives 7 plays in length. And it was capped off by the touchdown run that came from Lamar Jackson. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. No return here for QT, so this will come out to the 25. And we spotlight Keenan Allen as he gets set to go back to work. He's well on his way to a 1,000-yard season, maybe on pace to just tear past that, Charles. Defensively, they need to pay a little bit more attention to him.
Yeah, I think so, because remember, throwing the football, that can shred a defense quicker than anything else, because as soon as the catch is made, he still has the ability to, yards after catch, get downfield, gain even more, score touchdowns, all of that. This is going to be a lot of fun to watch as this progresses, to see how they defend him and how he changes up his game in order to try and keep getting open.
On 2nd and 9, Herbert. Man open, that's Kiki QT, complete. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. A big gain that time for the Chargers.
Well, Carter, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they took field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Here's Herbert. And it's hauled in by Jared Cook. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25.
And Jared Cook's been doing this for a lot of years, the last two in New Orleans. The Chargers turned to him after losing Hunter Henry to New England in free agency, and they made a nice decision.
Herbert jet sweep as he taps it forward. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Now it's Herbert. That'll be complete to Cook. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now gives him a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
And he's got his man in stride, complete. Touchdown! Kiki QT, his first touchdown on the year. And the Chargers have once again taken the lead. Extra point good by Hopkins. And the lead is now 14-10. So the drive there took 6 plays. And it winds up with a touchdown for Los Angeles. Following the touchdown, Dustin Hopkins will kick it away. On the return, Devin Duvernay. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. And the first play of the drive there is incomplete. So, Charles, you look at this offense, so what a start to the season. 5 wins without a loss. When do you think that you start believing that maybe you're in the midst of something special?
Well, you and I both know every head coach never wants that thought to creep into a locker room. But the truth of the matter is, not quite at this time, because if we look at the Steelers in 2020, they're a great example. Remember, they started 11-0, then lost 5 or 6 and went out in the first round. But I think if you get toward mid-November, the Thanksgiving time frame, and you're still doing this, that's when things start to get real for a ball club.
On 1st and 10, it's Jackson. Flushed out right. It's complete to Brown, right side. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35.
That is definitely what we call a defensive uh-oh play. And what you mean by that is against Lamar Jackson, when you see him out of the pocket, your first thought is, uh-oh, he's going to try and run it. How do I get to him and get him on the ground? And guess what? That didn't happen, and his receivers took advantage.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Again, Jackson. Oh, not sure he saw the linebacker there as that's batted down and incomplete.
Receiver coaches preach to their guys all the time. Separation, that's what's going to make the play successful. That time there was very little, and I think they were actually fortunate that it was only knocked away and not intercepted.
Flush to his right. That's to Watkins. What a grab that was. And he's brought to the ground with another first down at the Chargers 14.
Now that's all about making something happen as a quarterback, because instead of forcing something on 3rd down, how about him buying some time outside of the pocket, waiting for someone to come open, and when he did, he put it on him for a big play and a first down.
Dancing to his left. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. Lamar Jackson in the final seconds of the first half. And the Ravens have taken the lead here in the final stages of this first half. Tucker able to connect on the extra point. And it's now 17-14. So So this drive spans 7 plays. And it was capped off by the touchdown run that came from Lamar Jackson. Maybe time for one play on offense. 7 seconds to go in the half as the kick is away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Charger drive about to get going. And with 7 seconds remaining, not much time to really do anything. And they're just going to run it here up the middle. And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run. So we're at halftime here in the Inner Harbor with the hometown Ravens on top. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks. A few teams starting to rise to the top as it's time to take you around the NFL here in Week 6. We start with the two teams who've gone the longest without playoff victories, a combined 59 years. Cincinnati taking on Detroit. And it's the Bengals who are out in front. Joe Burrow with 3 touchdown passes. Next, we'll head over to check on the Giants at home at MetLife Stadium. And you can see there, it's the visiting L.A. Rams who have the lead in that one. Cooper Kupp, a touchdown reception. Lastly, let's check in on our nation's capital to see what's happening with the Washington football team at home at FedEx Field. And they trail the visiting Chiefs in that one. Clyde Edwards-Helaire with a touchdown run. With that, we take a look at the next-gen stats for the Chargers in that first half. And I can imagine the halftime discussions are about how can we improve the running game. They have not had success so far, and it's reflected on the scoreboard. Meanwhile, for the Ravens, they had a little bit more success on the ground than their opponents did. And that should set them up well for the second half to come. Both teams going back through their game plans, making their final halftime adjustments. And for the call of the second half, we go back up to Baltimore and rejoin Brandon and Charles.
Okay, Coach. Yeah, adjustments likely going to play a big role in this third quarter in what's been a tight contest so far. The Chargers going to get the football first here in this second half, and they trail as we get back underway. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Chargers getting ready to go here to start this third quarter. Now, they're still very much in this game, although they do trail. And what's the game plan, Charles, for the second half?
It might be a little counterintuitive because most people will think losing equals passing the ball more, but I'd establish the running game. They kind of went away from it in the first half. I think if they get back in balance, it'll help them when they put the ball back in the air.
And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
I see a shake of the head as he gets up, and you've got to imagine he's thinking, guys, you got to help me out. He's hoping his team can read his thoughts because he definitely needs some assistance.
A very good move, but for a relatively modest gain out near the 32. The Ravens bring out an extra defensive back here on third. Back to throw here, Herbert. And this is Cook with the grab. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled.
Keep giving it to him. Come on, keep giving it to him. Let's go.
We often hear the phrase sure-handed tight ends, and he certainly fits into that category. Plus, he's got a quarterback who knows to look his way when they need a big pickup. And on this play, he finds it for the first down.
And he'll work this forward for about 3 at 2nd down.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down. Justin Herbert looking to pass. He dumps it to Eckler underneath. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or 2 shy of the 30.
Austin Eckler got hurt last year and missed 6 games, but still finished with 54 catches, the 5th most by a running back in the NFL. But remember this, 2019, 92 catches. This guy's a definite threat out of the backfield.
And a really good show of force there as he gets through for 4 tough yards. Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Herbert now. Throws left side, complete to Keenan Allen. And he'll be out of bounds as he gets this down about the 21 or 22. Herbert setting up to throw on 1st down, and that is incomplete.
They've given up a few first downs on this drive, but getting the incompletion there, that should give them something to build on and maybe turn the tide.
On 2nd and 10, Herbert, and it's incomplete. So back-to-back incompletions. 3rd down here in 10, but you're still in field goal range.
And that's the thing to keep in mind. They're in field goal range, so now you don't take any unnecessary risks, but you try and find a way to get back to what you were doing earlier in the drive in order to finish this one off.
And that is incomplete. And the pressure there on 3rd down, forcing the errant pass. 4th down coming up. Hopkins' kick is good, and that will tie things at 17-all. So they come away from this opening drive of the 3rd quarter with only 3, but it does draw them even.
Yeah, and that has to be job 1, doesn't it? A touchdown definitely would have been nice. We know that. But here, you get back on even terms, and now you've got most of the 2nd half to try and get yourself into a position to win.
On the return is Duvernay. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22.
Let's go!
Lamar Jackson marching back onto the field. And he's been busy with his feet. He's been quite the scrambling man.
And obviously that can break down a defense, but a lot of it is just that they just get trapped with worrying about it so much that other things break down as well. You know, you break the huddle, and you're not just playing what comes out at you. You're like, oh, God, don't let him outside of the pocket. Don't let him beat us with his legs. And then he starts to beat you other ways.
The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. And the throw left sideline here is caught, but they'll rule it incomplete. Couldn't keep his feet in. 2nd down. 3rd quarter, all tied up. This is 2nd and 10.
Hey, we got a seal. We got a seal. We got a seal. Check.
Jackson from the shotgun. Got a man. It's Brown. And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line.
I think that's a big pickup for a 1st down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a 1st down. Executed it to perfection. Here a throw taken in by Watkins.
Simple drag route here, lined up out left and tried to work his way back across the field. You probably saw me twitch there, partner, because I think he wanted the ball a little bit sooner. By the time he looked it in, defender was right on him.
Jackson throwing here, complete to Boyle.
And there's a good catch for Nick Boyle. And yes, he sometimes gets overlooked, but that'll happen when you're playing in the shadow of Mark Andrews.
Here we go. Here we go.
And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this 3rd quarter. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. 2 1st downs have them up near midfield now on 1st and 10. Jackson going to give this one to Edwards. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 47. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
But they're certainly not neglecting their run duties as well as they ate up the blockers in front and allowed the secondary to get home.
So after the loss of a yard, they'll look to push forward here on 2nd down and 11. From the gun, Jackson. And this is caught. It's Brown. And he's brought to the ground with another 1st down at the Chargers 35. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
49 to Mike. 49 to Mike. Squeeze, double.
They'll throw on 1st down with Jackson. That's complete. It's Devin Duvernay. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds.
And as a quarterback, you always want to exploit gaps in the defense, and he finds one here. Crossing route, working from right to left across the field. And once you get defenders going in the wrong direction, it is awfully hard for them to pivot back, and you end up getting the first down.
On first down, Edwards. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5. Again, it's Edwards. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. It'll only be a gain of a yard, and it sets up a 3rd down and 4 now. Throwing is Jackson. Escaping the pressure right.
And Jackson's so tough to stop. He's got a first down, and he gives himself up there at the end.
And that's disappointing for the defense. They had the advantage, had excellent coverage all over the field, but they let him get away, scramble, and pick up a first down, and inside the 5-yard line.
They'll run here with Edwards. And he's going to press this one forward as they stop him right around the 1. A pickup of 4 on first down. It'll be 2nd and goal.
I can't believe they let you play. I can't believe they even let you play. Mike 9, Mike 9. Hey, we got to get to 9. Mike over here. I'm on.
And they'll try to pound it in with Ricard. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Baltimore. Patrick Ricard, his 2nd touchdown of the season. And the Ravens have broken the tie.
So still time remaining here in this 4th quarter, but the touchdown there puts him back out in front.
And you and I both know that their defense will not very seldom remind everyone that they started all of this because they held firm on the last drive and only gave up a field goal. Gave it back to the offense in a tie game and said, okay, your turn now, make something happen. And they went down the field and scored.
Tucker with the extra point. And they will take a 7-point lead. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown.
No return here for QT, so this will come out to the 25.
Herbert and the Chargers down 24-17. 2:25 remaining. Now their losing streak in danger of continuing as they come up on first down. On 1st and 10, Herbert is going to go for a big play downfield. And that's caught inside the 30. And all the way in for a Charger touchdown. Kiki QT, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon.
And the Chargers are an extra point away from tying this game here in the final minutes.
Don't forget the extra point. It's up and good. And, partner, we've got a tie game here in the 4th. Nothing separating these two sides. 24 on our score as he sends this one away.
Duvernay going to sit on this in the end zone, so it'll come out to the 25.
Let's go.
The Ravens offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that, they had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
Number 9 there, the first down completion. Getting down to the good stuff. All tied with 2 minutes remaining on EA Sports. So it's Raven football here as we welcome you back. They've got a second down now as they search for a score to break this tie.
Jackson's throw complete here to his receiver, Brown.
But they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down.
Let's go. Hey, we got a seal. We got a seal. We got a seal. Check, 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 check.
Jackson to throw. That's taken in by Duvernay.
This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
Brandon's okay what they're doing right now. Still able to work the middle of the field, but you know sooner or later they're going to have to stop the clock.
Mike 9, Mike 9.
Jackson.
And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off at the 40. And he'll return this ball across midfield to the 47-yard line.
Don't throw this way.
So this is something we didn't see at all from this offense in the victory last week. That's a turnover. They didn't have any, but giving the ball away here in the opening quarter.
I love the surprise in your voice because it's exactly what you stated. Didn't see it last week, but it's a key to their win. And it'll be a key to this game as well, protecting the football. Didn't get it done there.
And he'll go down inside the 45 before going out of bounds. They'll contain him to just 4. 2nd down. The handoff, it's Eckler. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. 50 yards rushing for him now on what was his 10th carry of the ball game. Now the Chargers going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 ticks to go in the football game. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. On the ground, it's Eckler. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. Now the Chargers will use the second of their timeouts as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in this football game. Now they contend with a 2nd and 12 after the loss. On the give, this is Eckler. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. Just a loss of a yard there, but it's not going to help. Now they face a 3rd and 14. They're making steady progress, but I see your face. You're worried about that clock.
I'm worried about the clock, and at some point you have to have a splash play in there as well.
And the clock will now stop as a timeout is called with 5 seconds left. So now it all comes down to Dustin Hopkins. This a long one from 54. And that one's not going to get there. Not enough juice. An ambitious effort, but it's well short. And a costly one there as this game remains tied here in the 4th.
Charles, 54 yards. I'm surprised that came up short.
I would agree with that one because normally, if he misses, it's accuracy, not length, because he has plenty of leg for that. But maybe it's like I hit my golf shot, you know? Maybe it's like my wedge. You know, when you chili dip and you hit the ground ahead of it, sometimes that'll shorten your distance as well.
Well, he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. 4 quarters not enough. We're all even, and to overtime we go.
How much fun is this for everyone who's watching the game? How much fun is it for us to see this one get an extra period to get settled?
And here in overtime, If the team that receives the ball scores a touchdown, it's over. If they don't, we can still have some more football.
That's exactly right. If they go down and kick a field goal, the other team gets a possession to either match it or score a touchdown to win the ball game. If both teams kick field goals, the next team to score wins. But if the receiving team throws a pick six or fumbles the ball and it gets picked up by the defense and they score, the game is over at that point.
So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The LA offense ready for this next possession. They control their own destiny here. They have the football in overtime. Obviously, a touchdown would win it.
And I think teams around the league are still adjusting to the idea of going downfield, scoring a touchdown wins the game, because they were used to just going downfield and trying to get in field goal range to win a game. Still having to make that transition. Let's face it now, the ones who are doing it best know they need to go down, attack, put the ball in the end zone, and not leave it up to a field goal and give the other team a chance.
Yeah, as we said, they control their own destiny now.
Meanwhile, Herbert's throw going into the hands of Williams.
And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. Running on first down, Eckler. Yeah, give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
Maybe anticipating a blitz, and they jumped.
Yeah, and if we saw it, you know that they saw it. The bad guys might have been coming on that play. Had to pick them up, and they jumped.
And that false start penalty certainly not helping their cause here. 2nd down and long. Now Herbert with it, looking to pass. It's complete to Williams. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or two shy of the 40.
And Mike Williams was a 1,000-yard receiver in 2019 and had to battle through some bumps and bruises in 2020. He's known for his big plays downfield, but he also can make the dependable catch as well.
A first down run not going to get him a whole lot. Maybe a yard. And it looks like just 1 yard there. So that'll bring up 2nd and 9. 2 minutes left in this overtime session, and still all tie. Here's 2nd and 9. It's Eckler again. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. A yard in the wrong direction. Makes 3rd down tougher. 3rd down and 9.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they can let it...
And the Raven pressure too much. Down he goes. Patrick Queen drops him for a loss of 14 yards, and it also brings up 4th down.
Well, he shot in, CD, like he was out of a cannon from that linebacker position. And even though they had a running back in the backfield, no one could stop him.
Well, you certainly diagnosed that play perfectly, because as fast as he got into the backfield, you're exactly right. The running back had no shot to get over and try and protect his quarterback, and a sack resulted.
They'll run with Edwards here to begin the drive.
But that is going nowhere. Only a yard up to the 2.
Now another timeout called for by the offense. They'll be left with just 1 remaining here at OT.
Second and 8 coming up.
Now what can Jackson do here at overtime?
And the timing a bit off that time as that one falls to the ground.
Way back here deep in their own territory, they're well aware when they throw the ball, they've got to be careful.
Let's face it, every psychologist in the world will tell you, be positive with your team right here. Tell them they're going to make big plays. I know every coach we've ever met has told his offensive team, don't hold here, right? Don't get a penalty here, because anything like that in the end zone can end the game and lose it for us, especially if they want to keep throwing it.
from the shadows of their goal line. Here's 1st and 10 from the 11. Jackson rolling to his right. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
You got to remember, because now that we're in overtime, mistakes get magnified. So you got to walk that line between being aggressive and being careful, because that was a dangerous throw right there. You obviously could not have an interception in this spot.
It nearly was an interception. He's lucky to get that one back. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 30.
Man, defensively, that hurts. They got him out of his rhythm. They had him hemmed in, but somehow he was able to tuck it away and get away for a gain.
Throwing, Jackson steps away. 1st down and more for Jackson. And he goes out of bounds just shy of the 45.
Hey, pick a shot now.
Well, another fine run right there for Lamar Jackson. And CD, that one puts him over 100 yards now for the ball game.
And remember when all we talked about were 100-yard games from running backs? That when a quarterback did it was a surprise. With Lamar Jackson, that's part of the package as well. He'll have as many 100-yard games in the season as the top running backs in the league.
So from Charger territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line. Now Jackson eluding the pressure right. And he'll cross over out of bounds right at the 25.
That was an excellent job of recognizing the situation. His first read wasn't there. Heck, his second read wasn't there. But he bought himself a little extra time scrambling out of the pocket, got to the sticks, and picked up the 1st down.
Flushed out right. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be 2nd down.
Okay, he's not going to get the 1st down, but this is still a nice job of buying some time and then running to get to the sideline and get out of bounds and avoid the big hit.
And this throw incomplete. And the defender all over him that time, and it's going to lead to 3rd down. Well, what was the term that you just used a minute ago?
Well, especially in overtime, mistakes get magnified, so it's time for us to get our microscopes out, right? I mean, take a look at what's going on out there. That was very close to being a crucial play.
Yeah, got to look that ball in, didn't, and it hit the ground. And he is out of bounds, getting it down to the 10.
Now, this is a feeling I can relate to all too well. Deflation on 3rd and short. Excellent coverage, took away all the short routes, but the one person who wasn't accounted for, the quarterback, and he used his legs to hot-foot it for a 1st down.
So not quite a 1st and goal. It's 1st and 10 from the 10. Here's Jackson. Flush to his right. And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage. So that's it. No double overtime until the playoffs rolled around, so that means this one ends in a tie.
Yeah, that's ultimately unsatisfying for both teams, the fan bases. Heck, for us.
True.
We came here to see a winner, right?
We did.
Winner and a loser. We didn't get it. We end up with a tie. Everyone walks away. A little bit cranky on this one.
Meh.
Yeah,
M-E-H, man.